So what did we discuss last time round? What did we come to understand? A conversation between Shiva and Parvati. Yeah, we spoke about that at length. I don't expect you to remember everything. That's why we're making a video. And everything that we know about yoga philosophy, Hindu philosophy, and all these other things was born from a simple question: "O Shiva, what is your reality?" We remember this? Yeah. And it is such a profound question, and we could spend the whole morning, the whole day, the whole teacher training, in fact, discussing this and looking at the different schools of thought and philosophy that have been born from that question. Yeah, so we're going to just look at that question again before we move on. So she says, "O Shiva, what is your reality?" The next thing she says is, "What is your wonder-filled universe?" And that's really important as well. What constitutes seed? So we'll look at that in a moment. So what is the source of the cosmos, of the universe? You know, how did everything begin? Who circles the universal wheel? So who is behind everything? What is behind everything? Yeah? When you're in meditation, when you're experiencing the experience of infinity, which Shiva is, what is your reality and what happens to Shiva? So if Richard immerses himself in meditation and becomes a Buddha, an awakened being, he experiences Bhairav, as it says in that text, or Samadhi, which it says in the Yoga Sutras, all the same thing. Ultimate freedom, which is what which Iyengar says. They're all trying to say the same thing, but in their own way. What happens to the Richard that I know when Richard falls into that state? Where is Richard? What is your form? What happens to Richard? Are you in the presence of God? Are you one with God? So is there you and the cosmos, the universe, or do you become part of the cosmos, the universe? Is there any traces of the Richard I know when you immerse yourself in meditation or fall into meditation and are one with the infinite? I don't know the answer.
I was going to ask a question, because doesn't that, I'm not trying to be cheesy and say, doesn't that depend? But doesn't that depend on
Don't use my lines on me, Richard.
No. It depends. Mine was, doesn't it depend on whether you're looking at it from my perspective or from an outseer's perspective? Yeah? Because you might be able to still observe me, where my mind is for me to observe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but this is... So we'll come on to it in a second why it's such a powerful question, right? But this is what Parvati is inquiring about. Yeah. Okay, it's almost like me saying to you, Lisa, what happens to you when you're doing yoga? Like the Lisa that I know, this party animal, I'm assuming, I'm just whatever.
I used to be.
You go careful.
So essentially, the person that I know. Is that person still there when you're doing your yoga practice? I'm trying to simplify it.
Sure.
Do you fall into a state? And if you do, what is that? What is your reality again? Okay, so as we said last time round, so looking at Hala this time, what is your reality? Why is it different to mine? So is everything in front of me? Is the universe, the cosmos, God, whatever you want to call it, is it in front of me? I have a veil over my eyes. Am I deluded? Or is everything that I see an illusion? So what is the reality? I'm just so interested. And this is the most important thing about Parvati's question, her inquiry. She is so fascinated and interested in what Shiva has to say or what Shiva's doing. This is why Shiva doesn't give her a philosophical answer. Okay, so to understand that a little bit better, do you see what I'm getting at so far? I'm going to use Carly as an example here. So Carly's mentioned to me about how yoga has changed her life. She hasn't expanded much, and I don't ask for more because I know how hard it is. And sometimes it's in ways that I can't even describe or I don't know yet, I just know it has.
I don't think I know.
Yeah. Okay, but it has. It's influenced all our lives in some respect. Okay, it is taking our lives in a better direction, right?
Otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Of course. So, if I was to ask Carly a philosophical question about yoga, it wouldn't be, what is yoga? In the same way Bharati says, what is your reality? It's the same question. Okay? I wouldn't say to Carly, what is yoga philosophically? I would say, why do you do yoga? That's a philosophical question. Okay? And think about that as a language. If I say to Noosh, why do you do yoga? I'm actually a little standoffish.
Yeah.
You know, it's inciting some sort of argument. Like, I'm not sold on yoga. It's like, why do you do yoga? And you try to wax lyrical and sound philosophical to convince me, but you can't because of the way I've asked the question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
But if I said, Noosh, what is yoga? It's because I've seen the change in Noosh. I've seen the way she's illuminated when she does her yoga practice, the way she's evolved. Like, if Carly says she's changed as much as she has, someone's going to notice that. If someone doesn't like it because Carly is evolving and they're not, they'll say, why do you do yoga? Watch their posture, watch the language. But when someone is as fascinated as they should be, they'll say, Carly, what is yoga? Because the person who says, what is yoga, they are almost sold on the idea, but they're a bit nervous and they want Carly to say, oh, you know what, it's hard to say, why don't you come with me? I'm like, okay, you know, you've convinced me, let's go. But the person who asks, why do you do yoga? I don't think you're going to convince them to do yoga by saying, come with me, because of the way the question was asked.
Can I just ask something? So, do you not find when, and I find this, that when somebody asks me the question in that way, in that kind of slightly defend or argumentative way, asking back the question, why do you want to know, is actually quite getting to listen to
See the boat?
Go see the
Well, I can't, I'm here. I'm here.
Mummy's gonna see the boat.
Okay.
You stay.
I've got to go. Give me a
You
kiss.
stay.
It's okay, darling.
Go see the boat.
I'm just thinking, what boat are you talking about? Sorry.
That's all right. No, listen, that's you don't fight with that one, right? But yeah, so to ask, why do you want to know? You know, I always find that elicits quite an interesting response and opens it from a different lens from the person.
Yeah, sure. So if you think of coming back to what is your reality, what is yoga, it's because in yoga spiel they are one and the same. Bharati is an extension of Shiva. Like they come together. You know, Ardhana Ishwar, which is the statue downstairs, half Shiva, half Bharati. So she already knows, but it's just not there. It's almost like a recollection is needed. Oh Shiva, what is your reality? And because Shiva knows that Bharati is sold on the idea, and he thinks you already know, darling, you're already a goddess in your own, but you've just almost forgotten your true nature. So here's a technique. And you know what? I'm going to give you more than one. I'll give you 112. Yeah? Parvati asks for more, so Shiva gives her 112 techniques. And at no stage does Parvati ask for philosophy. There isn't any.